Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com where I share my favorite practice tips, general advice, and tech for musicians. Today I'm just kind of sharing a short little video with something really helpful that I'm making on Notion, which I don't know the exact way to describe Notion. It's kind of like a note-taking app, but like organization. It's not like Google Drive, but you can also like make resources and you can make pages that hold information, and it's really helpful. However they describe themselves, I'll just put it on the screen because they'll be able to describe it better than I can. But I'm making something here on Notion that's been really helpful for me as a music teacher for my own planning. So I've been organizing all of my teaching resources by level, and not so much literally organizing my sheet music, but putting them within Notion so that I can reference kind of an order and also have tags of what each song that I teach covers. So let's actually just dive in and take a look at it. So here is kind of the front page of what I'm making here in Notion. I just called it music lesson planning because I couldn't think of anything better. But here we have different pages: viola, violin, and piano, repertoire, and levels. So let's just go to violin because I think that'll just be the easiest right now. Then I split it into levels pretty much according to the books that I use. So you'll see on piano, I use the Piano Adventures method, and everything is labeled within the levels that they use. For violin and viola, it's less strict or less straightforward just because I use a lot of different teaching materials for string instruments. So I kind of just decide on the level. So let's just go to level 1. And here is my table. So over here, I have the name of the piece or exercise. I have the book that it comes from, the key signature that it's in, and any concepts that it teaches. And I made those as tags. So I put everything basically in order from very beginner, first thing that I want them to do, to just kind of the same order that the books go through. So in here, I use ABC's Violin for the absolute beginner. That's generally my go-to book when I'm teaching violin or viola to a complete beginner. I also have Essential Elements, which is not my favorite, but I do work with a lot of beginners who have started their instrument in school, and that's what most schools use. And then I also have the First Suzuki book, which is also very common, especially if I have transfer students. I also have added the book Music by Black Composers, Volume 1, and there may be one or two other odd books that I just have in my stock and I'm like, oh, I like that piece, I'm gonna add it to this so that I remember to use it and when I wanna use it. So the concepts are really, really helpful to see exactly what it teaches. And at the beginning, I even write what string the piece is on, because a lot of times at the beginning, if you're teaching someone new, they'll learn one string at a time and then put 2 strings together, and then it builds up to all 4 strings. So I have that at the beginning, and just any other basically very important concepts that it's teaching, or different styles like fiddle music. And at the top, you can also divide it just by the book that it's in, and you can also sort by different concepts. You can search for concepts or different key signatures. You can kind of manipulate it and search it any kind of way that you want, which is exactly basically why I made this, because I have so many different books, I have so many different scans of things that it can sometimes be difficult to know where they are and where they come from. I wish that for all of these I'd written the page number. I did for Essential Elements because I'm not as familiar with the layout of that book, but for ABC's of Violin and Suzuki, I use them so often that I usually know exactly where to turn to for any given piece. Okay, so let's make a new one of these. So I want to make a level 2 for viola because I don't have one yet. It's going to follow a very, very similar format to the violin version because I use a lot of the same teaching materials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this page and then move it to where I want it on the viola page. So now if I go over to the viola page, this is level 2 and makes it look like it's a copy. So I'm going to rename that just without the 1. Okay, and now this is its own table. This is the way I've found to do it. There might be an easier, better way. If you know of one, please let me know down below. I'm still pretty new to Notion and I don't know half of the shortcuts or anything involved in it. So this is all going to be very similar, but I need to edit a lot of this. So this should say viola. This should say viola. There we go. I don't have a music for Black composers for viola. I don't think they make one. For now, I'm just gonna leave it just in case there is one. Then what I have to do is move everything down a fifth. Everything works the same, but it's all written down a fifth to play on the viola strings. So that would be the next thing that I do. But you can go through here and see all of the concepts that it has and all of this stuff. Also, I've been thinking about if I have a PDF for just one specific piece, like if it's a standalone piece, especially once I'm getting to more difficult levels where people are just learning repertoire that's not in a method book, but just, you know, separate things. If I have one PDF for that, I would go in here. This is a page itself, and I would either add a property or add a comment, probably add a property, and would add a URL and just attach the link to the PDF in my Google Drive in there so that if I'm looking off of here, I can just easily tap on it and get right to it. I would do this a lot more, except all of these beginner pieces, the PDFs that I have are for the full books, and so I don't need to link that every time. I know exactly where I have those books saved, so that's pretty easy. I'll just quickly show you my piano version, because there are definitely different books, because there are a lot of different books within these Piano Adventure series. Like they're the ones that are just right in the series for each level. They have lesson books, theory books, technique, and performance, along with like sight reading and gold star performance, maybe like one other thing in the like really like tight-knit level of the series. But then there are also other like supplemental books that also correlate with different levels within the series. So one of those would be like a Disney book that's for that level. But there are also things that correlate within this Piano Adventure series that aren't made like in this level, or they're adult versions and stuff. So I put Adult Piano Adventures 1, but it correlates really, really nicely with the other things that are going on in the kids version of the lesson book. And here I do have the Google Drive link. I'm not going to share that for too long so that you can't steal my stuff. But it's already been super helpful if someone is struggling with a certain concept and they've done everything that they have in all of their books. I can look into here and find the concept and see, oh, this other piece in this different book that I have covers the same thing. So then I can assign that to them. If I get better at Notion at some point and I really learn how to make templates and make things pretty and stuff like that, I might make a fillable version to share with you all that you can download and add to your account. If that is a thing, I will put it down in the description box. As of right now, when I'm posting this video, that's not a thing that I have ready, but if you're watching this years later, I might have it. So go check that out if you're interested in that. If you do anything like this, or if you have any Notion tips, please let me know down in the comments, because like I said many times, I'm very new to it and I don't know half the secrets or even just how it works yet. I haven't spent a ton of time learning how to use it yet, but just, you know, here and there as I feel like I could really use it. So that's everything for today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I post new videos every other Sunday at noon Eastern Time. Thanks for watching.